All right, you can go.
I'll get any feedback.
Yeah, Ms. Campbell, you have to mute one of the two devices that you're using and turn on the one because you're going to get oscillation from that.
She getting through?
All right, you getting through there, Ms. Campbell? Okay, we ready now?
Yes, we are.
Okay, good.
Good afternoon, Mr. Bizoon and classmates.
Ms. Campbell, you have to use one.
Feedback.
Yeah, you have to use one of the devices for both listening and speaking.
And it is like that, but I'm close to it.
Uh, all right, let's see how that goes.
Okay. So again, good afternoon, Mr. Bizoon and classmates. Today's topic we will be discussing understanding others, which will be presented by myself and my partner, Michelle Bob. Firstly, I'd like to thank everyone for the patience with our group. On to the presentation. Some of the key points we'll be looking at today are individuality and commonality, understanding gender diversity, understanding cultural diversity, international diversity, cultural heritage, building multicultural appreciation, attitudes towards differences, cultural influences on leadership behavior, communication, conflict resolution, decision making, leadership and communication, assertive communication, rational empathy. I know it sounds like a lot, but I promise you, we'll try to get through it as smoothly and as quick as possible, and we'll try our very best to be as clear and concise. Firstly, as our classmates would have expressed a couple of weeks ago, in order to understand others, you first would have had to understand yourself. Then you would begin to look at how am I like no one else here, how am I like others, and how am I like everyone here. Have you ever found yourself understanding why some people love gossip, or no one, or why no one ever sits at the front of the class, or sometimes why we're all too shy to unmute our mics and answer questions? Well, that's because of our individuality and commonality. Some of the differences in ourselves and others comes from our gender, ethnicity, culture, and even our environment. The poet Maya Angelou had a remarkable insight into the commonalities of being human. She said in her famous poem, Human Family, we are more alike, my friends, than we are unalike. My understanding of this insert is that our individuality, within our individuality, we have more similarities than we are sometimes able to admit or even acknowledge. So we may sometimes find ourselves drawn to a certain group of people at work, or the men may be drawn to a specific sports team. This type of association is called social identity, something that binds everyone around you, no matter how different. So that curious bone within our body stems from how we were raised, which would be our religious practices, our sports influences, and other aspects that we would have been exposed to as children. And this is what binds and separates us as individuals. Next, we're going to look at gender diversity. How does a specific gender influence my attitude and my behavior? Sex roles is mostly identified with our biology, our physical construct, and gender roles are socially constructed expectations. So some example of gender roles are where most women are seen as the more nurturing parent, and long ago, the boardroom was seen as a men's only club. Now, as the times have changed, if an individual were to operate outside of their gender norm, they would suffer from something called gender role discrimination. As kids, we would have been exposed to the woman being the one to hug and tell the kids that you love them, or being the one to stay home with the children. And the male was more seen as the breadwinner and the leader of the household. Now, due to economic times, you're seeing where the roles are now reversed, where men are more taking up a hands-on approach in raising kids and being more vulnerable and emotional with them. And mothers are the one going out into the working field and supporting the family financially. Not to offend anyone, but do you all remember playing as kids? The boys would go outside and play rough games, football, basketball, and there was always a winner, someone was always a loser. And as girls, we were taught to play inside, have tea parties, and everyone got a chance to be in charge or to be the leader. Do you all believe if the roles were reversed, that boys learned to share or more sportsmanship, and girls were taught to be more rough, if society would have forced us to live in this particular norm, or what is seen as the norm? Cultural diversity. Culture encompasses everything about how a group of people thinks, feels, and behaves. Culture is the sum total ways of living, including values, beliefs, aesthetic standards, linguistic expressions, patterns of thinking, behavioral norms, etc. In summary, it is a group of people who share a common race or ethnicity. As business students, specifically in leadership and ethics, it is important to understand as effective leaders that we should have an appreciation for multiculturalism to build exclusiveness, which is being part of a group or team, to be collaborative, means that we're working together and common purpose, operating outside of ourselves, or feeling good that we've met a common goal. Under cultural diversity, we have race, which is identified as hereditary physical characters. So, my physical construct or my nose or my hair type or my skin color may be similar or different to someone else in my community, school, or work. International diversity, we can speak about the barriers of communication, where I may speak English, another may speak German, Dutch, Italian, and that could create miscommunication or insults if we don't understand their culture, their values, and their beliefs. Sorry about that. As leaders, we should understand that persons of different culture can influence our behavior and our thinking. But as future leaders, we should be more open minded and appreciative of others' culture and ethnicity. Now I'm going to hand you over to my partner, Michelle Bob.
Good afternoon, everyone. And my question is the definition of the differences of culture. So we have pictures of cultural heritage that we have established where we talk about the wide concept and the types of cultural heritage, which includes built environment and natural resources that we find throughout our country of Trinidad and Tobago. And because we also have artifacts, which also deals with books and documents and different objects, wherever you go to our national archives, where you want to find different topics on different issues in Trinidad and Tobago, you go to that National Archive, is on Fifty Street, and you get a full feedback on different aspects of our natural landscape in Trinidad and Tobago. So this is part of our cultural heritage. Next, we are looking at building multilateral cultural appreciation, which we have looked from a book which deals with ecocentrism, awareness, understanding, acceptance, appreciation, selective adoptive, and multicultural. Now we also deal with a quote that says about our attitude towards differences. And it says, the main difference between attitude and ego is that attitude makes us different from others, while ego makes we alone from others. Next, we deal with attitude towards differences. And here we have a synopsis of what the prospect is like when we deal with different changes in attitudes and how we can go about dealing with certain scenarios where we interact with parents, family, teachers, churches, anywhere we go, our business and environments where we work and so on. And we also contribute to our development as all sequential learning process, and we also learn from positive and negative experiences as a result of these experiences, either dislike and fear, faith, and so on. This is where we come about in experiencing our differences and how we can solve these problems in leadership. Next, we have also other forms of attitudes that we have to deal with it, and these comprise of negative attitudes, which also deals with the positiveness, plain mood, tolerance, and acceptance. And these are all part of the negative influences in our attitudes that we as a leader have to be able to establish with our in dealing with others. Next, we also deal with the positive attitude, which has to do with support, admiration, appreciation, and nurturing. These are what helps us and guides us to have positive attitude to deal with differences in our society. Right? Next, we deal with attitudes again, where I have two slides showing the mindset of attitude, behavior, action, cause, and result, and also a quote saying that inspiration comes from within yourself. One has to be positive when you are positive, and also good things will happen when you are positive. Next. Here's a bigger picture of attitude towards difference. We as an individual, as a society, have to make a positive attitude when we are dealing with leadership. Leadership is a very important aspect of our day-to-day life, and this is where we as a leader have to bring that attitude, that motivation, that optimism, and so on in our workplace and in our family and our environment. Yeah? Also, when you understand the different aspects of diversity, you have to talk about the that is totally homogeneous. Right? We talk about the five different values, which consist of preferences, attitudes, value system, beliefs, opinions, and style. All these take the form of good leadership, where we have to be able to understand yourself and so we'll be able to work with others and understand their preferences as well. Next, we see preferences, attitudes, and value systems. We explain considering with different interactions in our day-to-day life, and this is where we look at the cultural influences and such as leadership processes with communication, conflict resolution, and decision making. All these are part of the leadership program that we are entailed. Also, we could look at cultural influences and leadership behavior. When we are dealing with leadership behavior, there are so many barriers to effective communication that we have to deal with that are very important in dealing with situations in the workplace and out of the workplace and so on. So some of these effective communication barriers consist, well, culture, fear of being criticized, physical and emotional and spiritual awareness, individual identity, and ambiguity of these portraits. So, as a leader, we have to be able to cultivate all this into our environment so that we can become better citizens of our country and worldwide. All right, next we move on to communication. Now, communication is a very effective way of approaching leadership. Without effective communication, we are at a standstill. All right, effective communication deals with um, good listening skills, good um, one-on-one person talking, especially in the workplace and outside of the workplace and at the home, dealing with family pursuits, dealing with everything in general. Good listening skills is always a must when we are dealing with leadership. All right? And also, it is very important to keep in mind because people from different speech communities can make misunderstanding possible to use, very harsh, and that this can cause conflicts, this can cause confusion, this can cause other workplace chaoses. So we have to be very careful when we are communicating to others. And here we have the different expressions of emotion. We deal with cultural influences on leadership. We deal with personal space, financial experiences, gestures, touching, eye contact. These are very important when you're dealing with others on the board. Here we have the conflict resolution where I was talking earlier on about leadership. All right, to resolve conflict, we must first observe individual behaviors to determine how to treat conflict, and so we have some of the other behaviors outlined, which is, for example, the competition individual, the very subtle individual. Others will tend to blame, some believe that the way is right, and so on. So we, as a leader, must make good, valuable contributions to resolving conflicts and finding ways and solutions to the such topics um, as we go along. Also, conflict resolution abilities are very important in leadership. It's always to some degree of conflict. There's always some degree of conflict in our society. So where we have government leaders who have to make very critical decisions for the benefit of the country. All right, some of them may not agree on some things that happen in the country. So there's a conflict arise. So we as a government body have to be able to sit down and say, yes, we have to come to agreement. We have to look at both sides of the story and come to some critical agreement. So there's conflict, there shouldn't be anything arising. So when we have two minds come together and we sit down and we organize our thoughts, then we know that there will be no confliction and the vote can be carried on. All right. And next, we also have decision making, which is also very important. Where we have to we have elections. So we have an election coming up in November and December, internal elections of Kenya, where we have to make very critical decisions in the person who get elected to steer the country and to steer the country. So this is very important when it comes to decision making, understanding the roles and responsibilities that we have to offer for our society. And again, leadership and communication skills are very important. Communication skills in leaders are very important, that we must be able to follow follow our instructions be given to our subordinates or our society, and all will be well. Yes, so again, we have empathy in leadership and communication. Empathy is the listening and is meant for you who are other person's standards and references, points to understand the person's experiences. And also we have sympathy, putting yourself in the other person's place by retaining your own perspective and still using our own standard of judgment. In leadership, empathy and empathy are two of the most important aspects of communication. Without this, there is going to be lots of standard of judgments. You're going to have lots of feeling uncomfortable and sorry states about affairs, but without empathy, without the leader having empathy and sympathy for others, there will be a total breakdown. All right, so that's one of the aspects that we need to understand and clearly state that empathy and sympathy in leadership is of great importance. Here we have a civil communication and where we deal with socialization. Socialization is impacted in leadership, where we have different events taking place where we socialize and we interact, and each individual have their own sense of responsibility, sense of living. So we have to interact with each other to learn from each other, because learning a leader learns and motivates and acts each and every day of his or her life. We are living in a learning society where we need to understand each other, we need to communicate with each other, and we also have rational empathy, which also talks about working effectively together as a team, as a group, and we'll be able to understand each other as individual perspectives, culture, and context, and build new culture and engagement on empathy and insight. And we have here a summary of what leadership understanding others is. Understanding others and being understood by others will create an effective organization or group environment for the leader. Unfortunately for many, these are the challenges many face each and every day of their life when trying to become an individual of relational leadership. So, as a leader, we have to be truly able to understand others, do what is right, make good decision making, make solutions that are applicable to the workplace, to the family environment, and to government environment also. Right? In conclusion, in order to succeed, we must look at the biggest picture, consider all possible scenarios in every situation, in every environment. According to the rules 1994, page 219, there are 3 questions you should always ask yourself in any set. 1, how am I like no one else? How am I like some others here? And how am I like everyone else here? And this chapter already discusses all the different skills that we have to have in becoming great leaders. Understanding each and every one and understanding others is of most importance. And here ends our presentation, and I will leave you with this. Believe in yourself first so that you can lead and understand others. Thank you for listening here. Is there any questions?
All right, if there are no questions, I'm going to stop the recording now.